35 members when it was at the start, right? So I would not take much of your time. Welcome, Masarat.
Hi, good afternoon, all of you. Thank you for the
Good afternoon. Thanks
welcome,
a lot,
Mala.
Masarat, for accepting our invite to be our esteemed panelist.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure, because I think the gaming industry that we've been part since such a long time has always welcomed freshers, and freshers have always been a crucial certain percentage of our team always, and our experience with freshers has been very good. Since the time we started, I think we've had a good number of freshers, almost close to 50 freshers
Wow.
from different institutes, of course from Arena, and from a couple of other institutes in Hyderabad as well as other cities that we welcomed. And I would say 98% of them have turned out to be very good picks.
Wow.
And out of the numbers that we have hired, I'm very happy to say that at least we still have 50% of them with us, who have been working with us for now more than 5 years, and now are at positions of senior artists or lead artists. So it's actually very good. So somebody sent a message, can I listen to you in Hindi? So do you want me to speak in Hindi? Is that
I
okay?
think, Masarat, let's speak in English, a combination of English and Hindi.
Okay, ठीक है, चलो, okay, no problem. Yeah, I know, like, I think we've had a good mix of freshers and experienced guys. And for freshers, it's of course a very interesting. I mean, gaming as a career, I think it's really interesting. I mean, before I got into Rocksalt, I never even knew that such a career path actually exists. You know, agar we have a lot of us who like sketching and drawing when you're young, and you like to paint and you like to color, and then your parents are like, ye kya kar rahe ho, coloring, painting mein kya milne wala hai. You become a doctor, or you become an engineer, or you take up some other profession. But it's surprising that gaming as a career has so much to offer. You have courses, you have your fine arts degree that people could take, and now institutes are providing courses that help you specialize. So you have courses wherein you can learn the software. And of course, nowadays the freshers are so smart, and you have everything available online. You have a lot of courses available online. Just say you can kind of improve your skills so much, and there is so much material available online that you can learn virtually almost everything now. That's the reason we welcome freshers, because they have that hunger to learn. They come with a very open mind. They are well exposed in terms of knowledge. So it's kind of easy to train them, because they're very receptive. They're fast learners, and they're ready to take as much knowledge as possible. But yeah, maybe the only challenge we face is they want everything fast. They lack a little patience.
Great. So that was, that was really a good piece of information for all the freshers
Yeah.
who are attending this session. That, a lot of students, they have this concern, ma'am, we are freshers, we
Hmm.
do not have any work experience. So will the industry hire us? So the answer is yes.
Yes,
The industry
definitely
is
yes.
actually looking for freshers who know the art, and who have the passion to do something, to the passion is very important.
Passion is
Okay.
important, yeah, because see, this is not like an accounts or some kind of other profession where you're just dealing with numbers, and the numbers, how, whether I put it on the debit side or credit side, and I
Correct.
get this kind of a career needs a lot of passion. And I mean, not just this, I mean, any profession which has creativity involved needs constant upgradation. Constantly research, constantly upgrading yourself. So many softwares coming in, so many technologies coming in. The game which is doing well today has a lifeline of 6 months, 1 year max. Today everybody is going Angry Birds, Angry Birds. Tomorrow it's some Candy Crush. Tomorrow it's some other game. Today it's Among Us. Today it's something else. So the life cycle of the game is also very, very short. So you cannot be stuck in one style of game I can do, or I'm very good at that. You have to constantly keep upgrading yourself, and I think that's an advantage when you're a fresher, because you're aware of a lot of things and you are ready to learn. So the willingness to learn is again very important. And do not treat this like just a career or a job. You need to
Absolutely.
be very passionate, constantly learning, and never feel that, oh, now I know everything. You might be very good in one kind of art or one kind of a game that you've worked on the art, but tomorrow there's a new game. So
Correct.
you cannot live in your past. You have to constantly see what else can I do. So that's basically what I think we expect from the fresh lot that comes in.
Absolutely. As Masarat told, I think, just in two lines, students, it is my humble request, please don't treat this industry as, you know, it's just another course or probably a vocational course. It is one of the mainstream career courses. And as freshers, just not freshers, I think this is for everybody. We should not stay in that cocoon of ourselves. It's important to upgrade, to constantly upgrade and learn new things.
Correct.
So that's very
Yes,
important. Great.
absolutely.
Okay, Masarat, before we move forward, I would request you if you can tell our students about your organization, about Rocksalt Interactive,
Mhm.
when it all started, the journey, and, the kind of work, the kind of clients you have. So that would be great. So probably
Okay,
if you can share that presentation so our students
cool.
would have a
Yeah, sure. Just
overview of the organization. Students, any questions you have in mind, you can also write those questions in the question and answer section. I'll be taking those questions as we move forward.
okay. So is the presentation visible?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, Rock Salt has been, I think, part of the game art outsourcing industry. Let me first just clarify that we are not a game developing company. We are not game developers. We are basically, a company which develops the game art for the game developers or publishers. So we've been in business since 2011. Okay, we started with a very small team of 4 members, and we started with I think just one project in 3D, and then the team has grown to about 35, and then gradually we moved to a number where presently we are a 120 member team. We have an office in Manila, Philippines, and the business office is in Singapore. So if you see, what we've been doing has been purely working on the game art development side, both 3D and 2D, for more than 70 game titles. These are some of the game titles. So, just to clarify to you all, we did not make these games. We merely provide the game art for these, which are used in these games. So, the developers for these games are some other companies. We basically create the artwork in the background, and then we provide it to them to be used in their games. So some of the companies which develop different kind of games like Zynga and EA, Social Point, and some of the games are these names. I'm sure some of the games, or most of them, might be familiar. I'm sure all of you must have played them. Just a quick understanding of what our clients whom we worked with have told. So the clientele that we have are,
Masarat,
yeah,
Masarat,
yeah.
I would request you to please go full screen.
Oh, okay. Let me see how I can go full screen. I am not really able to see the option here.
Okay, yeah, I think this is a PDF, right?
Yes,
Yeah, so
exactly. This is
yeah,
a
it's
PDF.
okay, it's okay. You
Okay.
can move
Okay.
forward.
It's not visible, is it? Is it
Yeah,
not
no,
very
it is
visible?
visible. Yeah, it's a PDF. Okay,
Okay,
fine. You move forward.
yes. So, yeah, this is just to, let you all know what our clients have said about the kind of work and the quality that we have done. So, Rocksalt has placed itself, as a company which is known for its quality work. Okay, there are many companies like us in the market in India. Like, you'll have innumerable companies, but we are very proud to say that we are the only company in India which is purely an Indian company. We are not, taken over by an MNC or tied up with any company in the US. We are purely an Indian company. And also, just to let you know, maybe because it's not mentioned in this presentation, we are part of a very bigger group which is called Resolute Electronics. Resolute Electronics has been in the business since last 20 years. They're basically an EMS company, electronic manufacturing company. And that group has 3 4 companies under it. So we are one of those companies under the Resolute group. All of them are into service businesses. There's another company under the group called Radiant Appliances, which is located in Shamshabad. And they are one of the largest manufacturers of Samsung TVs. Okay, so we are actually part of a very bigger group. So, but so it's purely an Indian bred company. Everybody, the management team is, working from India, and it's purely an Indian company. So that's something that we are very proud of. As you say, a made in India kind of a company. So that's what we are, which we all need to be proud of. So we have a team which, so the teams that we have here is for 2D, 3D, and in 2D you have 2D art development, 2D animation. In 3D we have 3D modeling teams, animation teams. So, they basically work on creating a lot of assets or artworks for various clients, which could be of different styles, realistic characters or cartoony characters, different kind of requirements as per the client requirements. So, so this is just a little bit of the kind of work that we have done internally, part of our portfolio. The only challenge that we face is that the work that we do, we cannot really share it because it doesn't belong to us. Okay, because we are just the art developers. So if you want, you can always check our website where you will see all the games and the work that we have done for the clients for various games with their logos. So this what I'm showing you is basically our internal teams explorations and works that they have created for our own portfolio, that we show to our clients, based on which we are able to get work. So a lot of 2D and 3D related stuff, environments that you'll see, characters, that you would see. So you'll basically see a lot of this on our website as well. I hope the students have, taken the time out to go through the website to understand more. Yeah. So all this work that we do, of course, because we are an art outsourcing team, it also comes with a lot of IT and data security, protocols and requirements that as an art service provider we have to comply with. So it's not easy that we create something. If it gets leaked out before the game is released, we can really be sued by the client. So, data security and confidentiality is of the utmost importance in this kind of an industry. So that's the reason we are not at liberty to share client names or game names without the permission of the clients. So if you see on a website, if we have mentioned client names or game, titles, it's purely only after taking the permission of those clients whether we can share their names and the game titles or not. So that's basically a little bit about Rocksalt.
Okay. Great. That was an awesome journey, and the kind of work which you showed in this PDF, it was really mesmerizing. And I'm sure our students would be keen to do this kind of job and join Rocksalt ASAP. Okay. Now, Masarat, coming down to the most important question. At the moment, I guess you are looking for artists in your 2D department, 3D
Yes,
department, and production coordinators, right?
absolutely. Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so if you could, probably throw some light on the requirement, requirement in terms of just not software, but for example, if I talk about production coordinator, I don't think software would be mandatory, but then the overall attitude, personality, so if you can throw some light on the skill set and the kind of student you're looking for in each department.
Absolutely. So, see, when you're getting into gaming, it's not always the art side that has opportunities, because many a side time what happens is, a student gets into the art related course, and then over a period of time they realize that it's not really working out. It's not my cup of tea. But at the same time, they're pretty good in their communication skills. They've learned about the pipeline. They understand how the pipeline works, so they can always choose the path of getting into production management. Okay, so production management is one of the requirements that we have, wherein we would definitely welcome students who maybe want to get into the management side. And then for 2D and 3D, of course, you have your requirements for 2D would be your 2D sketching or 2D coloring artists that we are looking at. If you're really good at sketching of characters and all, then that could be one line. Coloring is the other skill, so coloring artist is something that we look for. Mala, I think we lost you. Yeah, Mala, I think we lost you.
Yes, I think
Okay. Okay.
again.
I'll just maybe again go through it once again. So what I was saying is that for production management, we sometimes students realize that, art related is something that they've learned, but they're not really very interested to pursue it further. So they can always pursue a career in production management, because even production management, because we always have requirement even for production coordinators and production assistants and managers who basically help in allocation of the work to the artists from the clients. They are the ones who might over a period of time get to interact with the client and just get the work requirement from the client, allocate it to the artist, follow up to get the work done, and then ensure that it is submitted back. Whenever any feedback or fix ups comes, they kind of coordinate. So maybe students who are very good in communication skills,
Okay.
and also understand the pipeline, this can also be one of the areas that they can explore, if not
This
in
is
the art
very
side.
important.
Mm-hmm.
Students, I think this is being told to you by your faculties also, the center staff also, that it is very important for students to know the production pipeline.
Absolutely. Yes.
Students, what happens, Masarat, students, they generally tend to become software dependent.
Correct. Correct.
And I would request and I would suggest this to all my students, that software is just a tool which helps you get the output. Unless and until you know the production pipeline, it becomes very difficult for you. Great. And
Correct.
what is the kind of artist? There's one question from Shivin Narang.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, what exactly you are looking for in the portfolio?
Okay, that's a good question, Mala, because what happens is when we get freshers who send in portfolios to us, I mean, portfolio is the first thing that we can see about an artist. I mean, how will you show your skill or your knowledge to us? Of course, we cannot see how you work on your software, but we need to see. We cannot take you and then see how your skill is. So we need to see something that you do based on which we can assess at what level you are and what kind of a training we can put you through. So portfolio, usually what I see, what students send to me, they do logo design, or they just do a sketch of their favorite character, which is of course good. But if you are aiming to get into gaming as an industry, I think, and if you play games, then you should target some of the characters that you see. Maybe you're good at characters. First, identify what are you good at, because to be able to do good characters and all, you need to have a very good strong sense of the anatomy and all those things. So if you think you're strong in that, then maybe you can take up some of the game characters and try working on those. Because majority of the games that you all play, I'm sure you see a lot of realistic characters and all those things. So we will, so ultimately when our seniors see the portfolios, they just see how good the person is in sketching, the anatomy sense that the person has, the coloring sense, the shading or the lighting and all. We cannot judge you for any specific project. We can only judge you on the very basics of an artist, the skill that you have, your sketching, your strokes that you might be doing, your basic for a character. It's the anatomy sense. Is your character, if you're doing a full person character, does it make sense in terms of the anatomy and the logic of the character? And then of course coloring. So it's so those things you'll have to be a little also be a part, have those things also as part of your portfolio. That'll help, I think, because that's what we do when we look at anybody's portfolio. Some of them just do logos and all, so that'll not really help us use in games. So if you need to be getting into the gaming, you need to pick up some artworks which are relevant to the gaming style and try and showcase your skill in that, maybe.
Right. One question which a student has asked, the student has not mentioned his name, that,
Mm-hmm.
ma'am, the kind of work you've shown in your PDF, that's probably, done by your experienced artist, right?
Mm-hmm.
Someone who's been in the industry, say, for quite some time.
Correct.
Uh, a fresher, of course, would not be able to deliver that kind of output, right?
Correct.
So,
Yes. Yes.
exactly from a fresher, what he or she should include in his portfolio, probably some characters or
Hmm.
assets, if you can
True.
brief something on that.
Mala, I'll also tell you something, that the ones that are done in the portfolio are definitely senior guys, but we have in our past experience picked up some freshers who have given the quality of a senior. Like
Oh,
in
wow.
3 years' time, there was a fresher who today is a senior artist and is working on some very, very high-end quality games. So maybe it's not just about experience. Yes, experience will definitely count. The more you work, the more. But the amount of exploration that you do, the older traditional kind of artists, they used to do a lot of manual works also,
Correct.
and manual sketching and all that used to do. So when the student, he joined here about 3 years back, and he came with an entire manual portfolio,
Wow.
which was full of all his sketches and doodles and explorations and all those things. So Photoshop and all are just digital tools, which of course everybody uses now. But if your hand is good in sketching, you can show it anywhere. It doesn't always have to be digital. So even if you do a lot of manual sketching, manual works, it'll help our leads to identify how strong are you in your basics. So like I said, your portfolio, you can have a little variety. Like you can have a lot of props, you can have some characters, you can have some environments, because this is what all games today are all about. If you work on some very high end games, Fortnite or Call of Duty and all these kind of games, you see a lot of environments there, a lot of weapons, cars, props, guns, so you can have a mixture of all these, which will give us an idea that, but if you feel that your strength lies in characters, then maybe you should explore more on the characters side.
Great. I think it is very important for the freshers specifically, since I can see a lot of students asking this question, that we tend to put just one shot of ours or probably one asset, and it really becomes difficult for the studio or probably the recruiter to actually understand your work. So it's very
Correct.
important that if you want to get selected, at least put three or four best shots, right, Masara?
Exactly, exactly, absolutely. And maybe the way you have developed it, you could show some stages of how you did your explorations and how you came to the final output of certain character. Maybe you need not show that in your portfolio, but you can keep it like if a company wants to know a little bit more, like I've created a character. They might be interested to see how did you develop that character? What were your exploration sketches that you did? What were the different poses that you tried till you came up to this final
Probably
character?
the character sketch or the
Sketch.
storyboard.
Exactly, the storyboard, like the doodlings that you did while you were finalizing on the characters. You tried three, four different poses and then you finalized on one. So that helps us to know your creativity also, and how creative you are in terms of exploring certain things. So that will be good actually if it can be done.
Great. Great. And Masarat, what is the number of requirements you have at the moment for freshers?
See, Mala, we've never had any limited numbers for freshers. We've
Wow.
always welcomed as many as possible. We've always liked because, it's like uh, till now, whatever freshers we've taken, like I said, 95 to 98% have clicked. They've stayed with us. But then again, there are some who, felt that no, this is it's too high pressure. We cannot take this career, and then they wanted to leave. So we don't keep a limit. We always welcome. Yeah, maybe because of the COVID time in the last 6 months, we were not able to take any freshers because we require them to sit in the studio and work with us.
Okay.
Working from home for freshers in this last 6 months was a little challenging. But now that we are slowly opening up, and we would definitely invite in more guys to come in, and more the merrier a batch for us. But yeah, our focus is more on 2D because that is one area we have challenge in getting good artists. And of course 3D is one of the areas, 3D and
Great.
production management that I told you. Yeah.
Great. So, students, again, this is a great news from a top recruiter like Rocksalt, where the general manager HR is saying that if the student has good work, they really do not have any limit on the hiring. So, I think you pick up any newspaper or you see any online news. There are companies, there are industries, who are telling that abhi job nahi hai. But then this is, and I'm really proud that I am a part of this creative industry where the HR head is saying that you just show us good work and we will hire you. So I think that's a great news for us. So I would request all the students to kindly share your portfolios with your respective ICAP heads, and we will share it with the studio. Great. Another question, which the students want to ask Masarat is, though for freshers, I think learning is more important. And, if they get to work with an organization like yours, they'll have a good start. But then if you can throw some light on the salary part, just a, budget or the salary bracket.
See, the freshers that we have taken in the past, last year, like we had one batch that joined in. So we start them at a salary of 20,000 for a year. We put them on an on-job training, and after completion of their 1 year of on-job training, then they can expect a hike as per the industry standard. It could be a 30-40% of hike.
Yeah, of
So
course,
we've had a fresher who, in fact, joined us at about, I think that was like the 3 years back. The one who joined, he was at, of course, 3 years back, the starting salary we had was 15,000. But in this 2-3 years period now, currently he's drawing about 60,000. So
wow.
it's just a span of 2 to 3 years, because see, coming in is one challenge, but once you're in, based on the way you're performing, based on your skill, based on your in how inquisitive you are to take up new things, salary hikes is not a concern. You can get two increments in a year. You can get within 3 months, you can be given a hike because your work reaches that quality. So just getting in first is the challenge at a certain fixed salary. Yes, because we bring everybody at a fixed salary first. after that, how each person grows is purely their performance and passion that takes them. So it's not like I'm at 20s, another 2 years I'm going to be on the same salary. It won't be like that.
No, that's really awesome. Someone starting his career from 15,000 and within 2 years he reached to 60,000. So that's awesome. So students, again, please, yeah, of course, salary is very important. But then
True.
if you are, getting an opportunity to work with such a good brand, I think, yeah, just join and of course, work hard. And I think sky is the limit. So I would
Yeah.
request all the students to please share your portfolio links and resume. That's very important because this the client or the recruiter, they want to know about the achievements and your credentials and the software knowledge. So resume is very important. So I would request all the students who are interested to work in the 2D department or the 3D department or production coordinator, which is more towards the management side, to their respective ICAP heads, right? Okay, great. Next thing, Masarat, which our students want to understand is, if you can share or if you can tell our students the work culture of your organization, as in, yeah, the
See,
timings and how you celebrate festivals, the work culture, because it would motivate our students.
being a gaming company and having so many creative guys, obviously it means that we cannot have a dead culture. We have to have a very lively culture because our guys are so creative. They constantly need something to, kind of motivating them, exciting them, and having some activities or the other. So whether so we have a band over here. We have a drum and a guitar, and we have our own band where guys can, those who are interested can play the band or they can play a drums. We have a PS4 kept in the office where, when you're kind of overloaded with work and you just need a break, you can just sit and play the PlayStation games if you want. We have a sports area where you can, play certain games like caroms and chess and darts and all these. Every festival, is a very creative festival that happens. Like recently we had Halloween. Of course, because we're working from home, it's kind of put in a little limit to our celebrations because all our guys are sitting at home. But then even then we kind of encouraged everybody to come up, so there were a lot of guys who came up with face painting and costumes and all that. So every festival activity, be it Halloween, New Year, we have regular painting competitions, and we have a regular clay, sculpture making competitions where we encourage, we invite everybody to participate. We regularly have a level up competition where we invite the employees to come up, give them a theme, and they come up with some kind of a artwork, and then it's kind of reward. The best artwork is rewarded with either a cash prize or something of that kind.
All right.
Regular activities, cricket matches between the teams, regular events that keep happening. So these are the things that kind of keep our guys prepped up, and being creative, they're always excited to be part of it. So that's the fun part of the work culture that we have. Apart from that, the work culture also encourages giving an equal opportunity to every team member. So it's not like because you're a fresher, you are put in only some junior level projects or very, a certain level of projects. If you have the capability and the capacity, maybe in a period of 2 years or 3 years, you could be handling a team. You could
Wow.
maybe not be designated, but then you could get acting lead. You could handle a team of freshers. So we have something called a mentorship program where leads are attached to some freshers, wherein they groom them as they come in, make them understand the work culture and all those things. So it's a very open culture and it's a very flat organization. See, many a times what happens in organizations is you have a very huge hierarchical structure. You have a CEO, then you have a production manager, and then you have lots of production managers, leads, and all. But here it's a very open culture wherein every artist has equal right to go and consult or speak directly to the CEO if he has any issues and concerns. So it's a very flat organizational hierarchical structure, I would say. So that way, the team is very very open, and they share a very good relationship with their leads, very good learning environment. the leads that we have are, I think, some of the best in the industry. They are constantly ensuring that the down the line team, the freshers or juniors, are groomed to the best. So that's the kind of learning culture that we have developed here, basically.
And I guess, whenever there is transparency at all levels, people actually get to grow faster.
Absolutely, absolutely. So there isn't that culture of politics or all those kind of things happening here. It's a very clear, transparent culture. And everybody has everybody has understanding of everything that's happening. There is nothing like hidden from them, or they don't know anything about what's happening in the project. Everybody in the team knows what's the status of a project, what is their role, how they are supposed to contribute. And that basically leads to the best kind of a quality of work that we end up doing.
Yes, so it's basically you work hard and you party harder.
Absolutely, this industry really needs that. You work hard
Yes.
and you party and you game harder.
Right. And there are few questions from Shivang Jinger. Then there is Uttam Basak, and a lot of students are asking that where we should send our resume and portfolio. So, students, you have to send your resume and your story link to your center placement head. Okay, so whoever is taking care of your placements in the center, you please share your resume and your portfolio to him or her, and then it comes to the respective ICAP heads. Okay, so I hope Uttam, Nitin, and Shivang, I've answered your question. Great. Okay. Another very important question, Masarat. When it comes to hiring, of course, the student will share the portfolio, but then how important is communication when you are actually hiring freshers? Because there are some students whose work is really good, but then they're able to explain their work also. But then when it comes to speaking in English, or say writing English, so they face some challenge. So how important is communication when it comes to hiring with the Rocksalt?
See, what happens is, as a fresher level, of course, it's not that important because
Okay.
they're given their work, they have a lead who explains to them. But we need to understand that we are working with global clients. So whenever any art related description comes, it comes in English. Okay, most of the clients that we work with are European clients or US clients or UK clients or Germany clients. So when they send you a certain artwork requirement or request, it comes in English language. Of course, when you're a fresher or a trainee, the same is explained to you by the production manager, the lead. They explain to you what is expected and all. But over a period of time, if you want to grow in your ladder of your career, you know English language is crucial, because tomorrow you might become a lead and you may have to get into a call with a client. The client will say that, okay, I want to speak to the art lead and I want to explain to him the requirement for how to do this artwork. So you need to be able to communicate to them, understand what they are saying. Sometimes the feedback obviously will come in English.
Hmm.
So even if verbal initially in your initial stages you are not so confident, but you need to work on developing your communication skills, because ultimately we are working with all global clients, and most of the companies likes to speak to the artists at times. When there's a very crucial project or very important project, they don't want to interact with the production managers, they want to speak to the artists directly when giving feedbacks. So I would say, of course, don't take pressure when you're applying initially. You have to be good in English because we are not testing you for your English language skills. But keep that as a priority to develop over a period of time. Okay, you don't have to speak American English, or you don't have to speak in an accent or anything. Just being able to understand what the other person is saying and being able to communicate what you want to say serves the purpose. Okay.
Great. But
Yeah,
yeah, I guess, English is just a language. There is no
exactly.
harm if, the student masters the language, because, as you only told that there are students who joined, at 15,000 as a fresher, and within 2 or 3 years they became the team lead.
Absolutely.
So,
Hmm.
if students, if you're looking for this kind of growth, and I think everyone wants to handle a team, probably say over
Correct.
3 years or 5 years down the line. So for that, English is important. But yes, please don't take pressure as of now. If your work is good, kindly share that along with your resume, and I think you
Yeah.
are good to go.
And to
Okay,
maintain a little professional environment, we do expect that, there is a common
correct.
line, because what happens in this industry here is we don't have people only from one location working in our
Yes,
studio.
yes,
We have people from all
correct.
places, regions who work. So when you speak in your regional language, it kind of makes other people uncomfortable, because unconsciously we end up speaking to one of our friends who's also from the same location. Maybe I'm from Gujarat, so I may start speaking to them in Gujarati, and the third person standing over there is like wondering what's happening, so and they're talking about work. So
Right.
sometimes to avoid that uncomfortable situation, it's always better to speak in a we also speak in Hindi actually in the studio, because then that everybody understands Hindi, right? But when you will grow to a certain level after some time where you have to interact with clients, many a times we have clients visiting our studios.
Hmm.
Almost every 6 months we have our clients who visit us, and when they visit, they want to interact with the team who has worked on their project. And at least you should be able to, and sometimes we realize that the artist is so good, they're excellent at their work, but then they're not able to answer because they're nervous or
You're
they're
able to
scared,
present. Yeah, yeah.
or they're feeling a little scared. So I don't think so. Language should we should be able to judge you on language, but yes, have a basic decent communication, verbal skill, which is good to communicate and
Correct.
understand
The
what others are
basic,
saying.
the basic English, the basic,
Basic, yeah. It's
yeah,
just that you can communicate what you want to the other person and understand what they're asking
right.
from you. That's about it.
Okay, we have one very good question from Chandralekha Srinivasan. Now,
Mm-hmm.
Chandralekha asks, ma'am, for example, if I join Rocksalt as a 2D artist now,
Mm-hmm.
okay, uh, if I know all these softwares like Maya, Max, okay, is there any chances of getting transferred from the 2D team to the 3D team in due course of time?
Absolutely. And another thing which you've asked is very good, Chandralekha. Many a times companies, want people to be a little multi-skilled. Like if you can do 2D and you can do 3D also, it's always a bonus, because there are some games in which there is a 2D and 3D pipeline. So if there is just one person who can do it, it's always such a good thing. Sometimes you're good at animation, but if you can do rigging also, it's very good. Maybe you're good in sketching, but if you can also do coloring, it makes sense. If you do modeling, if you do texturing also, it makes you a more big, whole package. If I just do modeling, I don't do texturing. So what happens is, there is in the work pipeline, there will be a time lag. Like you do modeling and you pass it on to the texturing artist, and then you're just sitting idle till you get the next concept to model. So if you also do texturing, you can complete two processes in one go, and it makes the process much faster in the process pipeline. So if you are good at 2D, and see, the only thing you all need to also understand is the company will not train you in softwares. Okay, because we are not a training institute to teach you softwares. Okay, because you need to understand that these softwares in the gaming industry are very high cost, and they require a huge investment, because we don't use trial versions or those kind of, we have to take proper licensed softwares. So giving a software to somebody to just practice, we may not be able to. So you can practice in your free time, maybe at home. And if you've created something in 3D, you're always free to come and show it to the 3D leads simultaneously, take feedback from them. And if they feel a little confidence that, yes, this person can do a little bit of 3D also, they may start giving you a little bit of 3D work also. So they can only at the best give you project training. But software training, at no studio will be able to spare that much of time. So yes, it would be very good if you are a 2D artist and you want to get into 3D, you're most welcome.
Great. So I hope, Chandralekha, that answers your question. We have another very good question from Robin Tomar. Now, Masarat, we would have students say from Delhi, from Calcutta, from Bombay, who will be joining Rocksalt. Do you provide, as an organization, do you provide any relocation assistance to our kids?
See, we do not provide relocation expenses, but relocation assistance in terms of helping them out with a place to stay. Like we have an admin because, frankly speaking, 90% of our team is not from Hyderabad. We have guys from Kolkata and Chennai and Delhi and Mumbai and Assam and Odisha. So I would say 90% of our guys are all non-local guys. So, but whenever, usually the people that we get, they know somebody here, so they're able to kind of manage the accommodation and stay and all. But if we have any students who are absolutely new to Hyderabad and they need some help in getting a place and all, our admin team always helps them in identifying a place and setting things up and getting them through. So yeah, that is always taken care of. No
So,
worries.
Robin, please don't worry. Just submit your show reel and resume if you get selected. So they are there to help you with your PG and
Yeah,
other
yeah.
yeah. So
No worries on that front. And the place where our office is located is very much closer to, a residential colony, and almost 90% of our staff stays in and around. It's so there isn't really a challenge of traveling from far and all that. You can just get a place right next door, and you can just come walking to office.
and Hyderabad is any which way is a beautiful place. I remember being to Hyderabad many times and enjoying that famous biryani. So
Yes,
Hyderabad is any which way
absolutely.
is a very good place.
Yeah, and the
Okay,
place where we are located is very much away from the high tech city and Madhapur, actually, which is like chaotic, actually, if you see. But the place where we are located is very much away from all that high tech city. Cost of living in this area is much, much lesser. So you can end up getting a good place, and you have almost all the things available close by. So I don't think so anybody has any problem when they join in with us. They settle down pretty fast.
great. Great. Just a quick recap. So, as of now, you are looking for 2D, okay, 3D artist and
Yes,
production
production
coordinator, right?
coordinators.
So,
Yes.
the software for 3D would be Maya Max, right?
Maya Max, yeah. ZBrush, maybe a little bit of
Maya Max,
ZBrush,
ZBrush. So, you're
ZBrush.
looking for characters as well as inorganic, right?
Everything, yeah. Character modeling, texturing, hard surface, props, vehicles, whatever you guys are good at. We are also looking at 3D animators. But then the software that we would specifically look at is Maya and Max, because in gaming, most of the projects happens in 3ds Max. So if there's anybody who is good in animation also, we could definitely consider those students.
Wow. Okay, great. That's a great news. Okay, there is one Uttam Basak has again Uttam. I think you've asked what things are required in the portfolio. I think Masarat has
We've
already
already
answered.
answered. Mm-hmm.
Yes, any three or four of your best shots will do, and just get your portfolio evaluated by your respective faculty. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So, students, I think Rocksalt Interactive is looking for artists in almost all the genres, and as she had told earlier that there is no limit, there is no number. So, if your work is good, okay, if you have that passion and you're a good artist, they are ready to welcome you, and that too at excellent salaries, right? So
Absolutely.
please finish your course, submit your portfolio, get your portfolio evaluated by your faculty. That's very important. Just don't send your portfolios as it is. And yes, please submit your resume also in a Word format. I hope you remember the sessions which we had for resume building and communication. So please make your resume as per that. And yes, okay. Basarat, one last question which students are asking, and I would also like to know, uh, there are a lot of students who are attending this session who are not yet part of this industry, who are are intenders, and they're basically planning to join this industry. Gaming is something which has actually it's being a super hit industry, especially in the COVID. Even the casual gamers have become serious gamers. So
Yes.
I would like to know from you, since you are from gaming industry, the future of gaming industry, and any advice you would like to give our aspiring artists, which would help them not only clear the interview with Rocksalt, but then be better artists.
Okay. Gaming, like I said, it's a super growing industry. I think it's growing almost at a growth rate of 22%. And in by 2024, in fact, the gaming industry in India is going to be valued at $3,750 million. Okay. And with so many companies coming in India itself, you have so many companies, gaming companies coming up, almost I think 400 gaming startups in India itself. And the kind of smartphone users that you have, I think mobile gaming itself is taken about 85% of the share of the online gaming in India. Okay. And I also want to share that in there's an external development summit that happens every year, which is exclusively for gaming in the entire in global at the global platform. And they have basically placed India and India along with China is the third top most in terms of art service providers. And India is a very good destination and preferred country for people to hire for game art development or for other services, also animation or VFX and all, basically because of a lot of reasons. One is of course in terms of cost, and also in terms of the talent that is available, and also in terms of the English speaking population in India. India is considered to be one of the preferred locations for outsourcing for the gaming companies. So gaming as a career is in India, I would say it's just recently happening, but I think globally, if you see, gaming is like a booming kind of an industry, and career choice. So of course, I think for the students, like I said, if you're really serious getting into this kind of a career, it's not an easy job, once for sure, because being in creative, it's not like you have a 9 to 5 job. It's not going to be like a government job, you coming at 9 and you leave at 5. Being creative, it requires sometimes, your creativity happens at 5 o'clock in the evening. Sometimes people are more creative in the morning. So and when you're saying creativity, sometimes you just have a block, you cannot think. So you cannot have a timeline that, okay, I come at 9, I leave at 5, and that's it, I shut my work. Sometimes there are client deadlines because you're working for certain global clients. So you have certain deadlines that you have to meet, certain quality expectations that you have to meet. So you need to be ready to work hard. Okay. When you enter new into the industry, you need to at least work a little hard in the first initial couple of years. And it could be in terms of softwares that you're learning, in terms of what you can learn, in terms of the kind of artworks, different styles. Play games also yourself. Okay, if you want to get into gaming, you have to be a gamer also, to understand the entire pipeline of the game. Like, I may just make a character, but how will my character look into that game? Many a times what happens is the artist wants to show his best ability, so he gets into minute details and he does the, but ultimately in the game it's just such a small character. And the client says, I don't want so much of detail. Why are you spending so much of time getting into detail? In the game it's going to look at such a small, so what's the use of going to the detail? So be passionate, at the same time try and balance it with the client expectation and quality. Understand what the client wants in that game, because you may be a very good artist and you may say that, no, I'll just do the best, I'm not going to compromise in quality. But then in order to achieve your quality, you may miss the deadline of the client. So work hard, get to know and keep yourself updated. Okay, be part of whatever groups or blogs that keeps you updating about the new games that have come, new technologies that have come, softwares. Nowadays I think everything is available online. You can learn a lot of softwares online. And like I said, don't restrict yourself only to one kind of an area, like I only do modeling. Try and go to the next pipeline also. I can do even texturing, I can even do sketching or character designing. So that will make you a more desirable candidate. When the company sees that, oh, he does modeling and texturing, it's good, because in the pipeline this person can at one shot finish off one entire asset, rather than I giving it to two different people. So I think that's going to be very, very important for them. And yeah, understand the entire pipeline, and try to learn as much as possible is, I think, the only thing that I can advise them at this point of time. Be a little open to learning, and never get overconfident.
Hmm.
Sometimes we've seen in the past that after working on one or two projects, the artist feels that, okay, I've learned everything, I know
Right.
everything. But every project is different, every game style is different. You may be, and we've also seen some artists who have failed miserably in one project but have done wonders in another project, because they were not able to catch the style of that project. Maybe you're very good in realistic, but you cannot do cartoony. So every day is a new day. You cannot live in your past achievements. You have to keep upgrading yourself, keep reading, keep seeing a lot, explore a lot, play a lot of games, to understand the entire pipeline of the game. So that will give you a more bigger picture.
Correct.
You'll understand the importance of the other person in the process also. You'll not limit yourself that I've done my job of modeling, let him do what he has to. You need to understand that what do I need to do right in my modeling, so that it helps the texturing guy to do his process correctly. So understanding the entire pipeline will make you a good team player when you join a company.
Correct. And it is just not about freshers, but then I guess this creative industry, it prefers people who are grounded, who are
Absolutely.
humble.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
something which is, you may be a very good artist, but then if you're overconfident, I think uh,
Yeah,
the
because
trouble begins.
yeah, and you have to be okay to take feedback. It could be
Correct.
good feedback, it could be negative
Negative
feedback.
as
We've seen some students or some artists, who felt offended. Oh, I'm doing so well. How can you say I'm doing so bad? I don't want to listen to direction. I'll do it this way. But you need to understand that for us, ultimately, the client is the boss for us. What the client says, we need to complete it and give it in those requirements. So sometimes it may mean that you have to sometimes we have to disagree with what you're suggesting or saying. So you have to have a little open mind when you're in this kind of industry. Creative industry also, you need to understand your perspective will be different from the other person's perspective. The way I see a bottle, you may not see the bottle in the same way. So creative perspective will always differ. There is no right or wrong. You may be right in your way, I may be right in my way. So we cannot say that you are wrong or I am wrong. Both are right, but you need to understand each other's perspective if you have to work as a team, because working in this industry is all about teamwork. If you want to work alone, then become a freelancer. Simple as that. Work for yourself. But if you want to grow in a company with a vision, grow in the ladder, as in from your junior level to a lead to an art director, get associated with a brand, then you have to learn to work with a team. That's going to be important.
Great. Naman, there is no last date of submission. Please send your resume and portfolio ASAP to your respective center placement heads. So I think, Masarat, we have answered, we've taken all the students' question, and thank you so much. I think the small tips you gave to our students, I think the students would definitely implement that in the times to come. So thank you so much for being there. Thank you so much for sparing your time and guiding our students. And our students would now be submitting their resume and portfolio to their respective placement heads, which we will share it with you. So I hope a lot of students, a lot of fresh talent will get selected with Rocksalt, and get to work in such a good and young organization like yours.
Absolutely looking forward to, Mala. Thank you very much. All the best to all of you. Hope to have a lot of you working with us
Yes.
at the earliest. Yeah.
Yes, great. Thanks a lot, everyone, for being wonderful audience. And tomorrow, again, tomorrow, 19th November, we have another industry HR session with one of our esteemed recruiters at 3:30 p.m. So please get in touch with your center for the registration link. Till then, take care, stay safe. See you tomorrow. Thank you,
Take care.
Masara. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye.
Stay safe.
Bye.
Take care, all of you. Bye bye.